last week's episode of the Epic Family Road Trip, after 3 grueling days and 2 cold nights stranded in the snowy mountains of British Columbia, Canada, we finally made it out, but not in the direction we had initially planned. Check out episodes 23, 24, and 25 to see how this adventure unfolded. Once we made it to safety, we refueled both Jeeps, which were running dangerously low on fuel. After refueling and resting up, we began our trek 2,000 miles east to our off-the-grid cabin in Ontario. Before jumping on the Trans-Canada Highway, we did a bit of maintenance and repairs on the Jeeps, and Matthew from the Canadian Tire Auto Centre took good care of us and got us back in tip-top shape for the long journey ahead. When the Jeeps were ready to go, we hit the road. Our first camp for the trip was in Crow's Nest Pass, Alberta. We now felt like we were making some headway because we had crossed the border and were one step closer to our destination.
This was a nice, good night's sleep. Very quiet, nobody came by. We'll mark it as usual on Gaia GPS and make sure we upload the GPX files. So this is the scene of what they call the Frank Slide, and it's really, if you look over here, a big mountain that used to peak way up here collapsed because they were doing mining underneath it, and it gave way at 4 o'clock in the morning and buried a town, killed about 70 people. But all the remains are here today, to this day, and they've made the highway go right through the slide. There's a museum up there, but of course everything's closed right now, all the way across Canada. So we're going to be able to look at some sites but not go in just because of the COVID thing. But pretty scary to know that an entire mountain could collapse and just spread out. You can see how far the rock slide has gone. It's crazy. There were some miners that were actually working at the time at 4 o'clock in the morning when it collapsed, and it buried the entrance to the mine, but they had equipment with them and they were able to get out of the rubble and live. So pretty neat story. This is how it looked in 1903. There's the damage from it. But a little piece of Canadian history. The town used to be called Frank, it's now called Frank's Slide. I read a book as a kid, I think it was called Northwest Mounted Police or something like that, or Fort McLeod I think it was. But there's a lot of history with the police force that used to be called the Northwest Mounted Police. They joined up and became the Royal Canadian Mounted Police. But here's the original old barracks here in Fort McLeod. That looks like a bit of a fortress.
Or maybe like a corral.
Getting down some water, but we've been on the road all day trying to make our way back to Ontario, but the government shut down everything, so we can't camp at campgrounds apparently. It's the second stop we've made and hit a gate, plus hotels are closed, motels, everything, so I don't know what they expect people to do, but we'll try to find something. And there's not a lot of BLM or Crown land around here that you can camp on, so we still got fresh mountain water from BC, so that's a bonus. After finding several gates locked, we continued our search and drove about a half an hour farther down the road and found a dimly lit hotel which looked closed. We knocked on the door a few times, rang the bell, and after a while, an attendant came out and actually sold us a room. We were so relieved. We had a great sleep in the hotel. Everybody got a shower, and the next morning we hit the road.
After driving all day from Saskatchewan across Manitoba and into Ontario, we stopped for a bathroom break, and Mom made an exciting discovery.
Look at
That's
that.
crazy.
Check it out.
I was going pee in the bush. Lando, this is mine. And right there, it was just sitting in the ground.
You have no
I've been
idea
looking.
how long Carol's been looking and just scanning the sides of the roads everywhere we go across America, looking for a
Yes.
moose or elk.
Probably 2 years now. But
I
then
can't believe you found that. Mother's Day.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Congratulations. Happy Mother's Day.
This is
That
the
is a
best.
nice find. That is a
This is
perfect
a-
shape.
This is huge.
Look at that.
It weighs a lot.
Oh, I can't
A
believe
moose one.
That's insane.
A beautiful
I
shape.
can't believe it.
Yeah, that's crazy. You just were like, oh my goodness.
yeah,
it's sitting
Well,
over
I
there.
heard Mom yell. I was like, oh no, what is it? We just pulled onto our final road. It's 20 minutes to the lake, and then we're going to cross over to the cabin. But we've been driving for 3.5 days, dusk till dawn, long days, but we've crossed the entire country. We're road weary and tired, but super excited to be back and to put our feet down at the cabin for a while. And we're going to make some really awesome videos for you, show you what life is like on the island. Hey Lando, do you remember this place? Yeah, buddy. I know. What? Good morning. It is May 12th, and we just had an incredible sleep last night after 3.5 days of hard driving. Crossed all the way from BC to Ontario. We made it safe and sound. We're at the lake. This is our favorite place on earth. We say that about a lot of places, but this little cabin here on an off-grid island, surrounded by pristine waters, and there's nobody up here. Especially this year, when we got to the marina, it was weird. Everything was chained off and blocked off. You can't put a boat there. We're part of an association that has a piece of land on the mainland, so we're okay. But yeah, I don't know what's gonna happen, but we're here, and yeah, we're so excited. There's all kinds of little projects. We have to open the water today, so hopefully we'll get that done, and then offload our food out of the Jeep. So we'll do a couple loads in the boat. Hauling the gear from the Jeeps out to the island. This whole load is pretty much just from the white Jeep. It's a lot of stuff we carry with us, but hey, you gotta have all the necessities of life in there. But it's sure nice to be hauling back into the lake, into the cabin. The water's cold, very cold. The snow must have melted off recently, but yeah, we're glad to be here.
We then worked on getting the water system going so that we could take a hot shower and fill up our wood-burning hot tub. We had been dreaming of relaxing in that tub ever since those cold days up in the mountains.
All right, we seem to have gotten the water going. It was easier than I thought. We had to prime it a couple of times and then up it went. Now we're just going through the cabin, making sure that nothing's leaking. We've got a water heater there. Seems to have good pressure in the kitchen, in the bathroom, just checking the shower. And then I'm gonna turn on the water heater, which is propane based, so it's all no electricity. And man, if it's that easy, we'll be thankful. we figured out last year, you know, typically up here, because everything freezes over the winter so bad, we figured out a solution for it. I drained all the water from the entire system, and then we actually filled a garbage container with antifreeze, that RV antifreeze, and then sucked it into the pump, into the tanks, into the entire system, so into the water heater and so on, and left it overwintered with the antifreeze throughout, and that seems to have done the trick, so we're very happy about that. So we've got an antique washer and wringer made by the Beatty company out of Elora, Ontario, back in the 50s. This thing probably hasn't run since then, but we're determined to get it going because I think this would be an awesome solution for doing laundry up here on the lake. So,
Oh, wow.
Got power. So probably what it needs is just take it apart and grease and oil any moving parts. There's some gears down in there, and we'll just open them up and get them greased up. But we got to be very careful because there's probably impossible to get parts for these now. If we don't break anything, I think we're good to go because we have something happening down there, so that's a good sign.
That'd be so cool.
So here's all the inner workings, and we've got the motor. The switch is covered in plastic still, so everything's really quite good shape. You've got a drain switch and the engage for the washer. When I turn on the motor, it works. So the electric motor is good. We just have to see if it'll spin the other side now.
Yeah, it's moving. That's so cool.
Alright, let's try put the washer back in, and we might have ourselves a working 1950s washer. There we go. Okay. Oh my word.
Wow. So cool.
We just fill it up with water, clean it up. This thing works.
Seagulls were dancing on the river. I woke up with a sunrise on the sea. Such a precious gift to me. Breeze and the waves, the slow pace. Salty.
After the chores were done and the hot tub was filled, it was finally time to start warming it up.
I'm on the right way. Yesterday we followed the road. We drove all day towards the coast. It remembered me the beauty of this life. Such a feeling to be alive. The salty breeze in my lungs. On and on and on and on. Salty breeze and the waves, the slower pace. The salty breeze and the waves. I'm at the right place.
How's the water, boys?
Beauty. Alright, so what we're making here is just a charcoal kiln. We just have been collecting sticks, setting them upright in the shape that we want our kiln to be. And earlier we just dug like a half a foot into the ground, and we found a whole bunch of really good clay. We had seen it last year when we were digging, or 2 years ago when we were digging the foundation of our cabin, and we just remembered that and are now going to kind of plaster the hole, build a wall, and then kind of plaster it up, all these sticks, and create the kiln itself, and light a fire from the top down, let it burn till about the bottom. We'll have holes in the bottom of the clay, and once we see the fire getting to the point we want, we'll close it all up, let it just smolder, and it'll turn into charcoal in the end. At least that's the end results we hope to get. So right now we're just going to build this. Just watching it burn down through all the air holes. We're starting to see a lot of coals drop in light. Once we see the coals getting down that far, close it up. All the air holes will be closed, top will be closed, and we'll leave it overnight, and then in the morning check it out. Alright, so we got a bit of charcoal from our charcoal kiln here. That little pile there is all, or should be all, good charcoal. We're going to try lighting it in a minute. But this time I think what we did wrong, because like a good portion of the wood is still actual wood and didn't even burn at all. So I think we closed it off too early. So we're just going to look into seeing what the best time would be by trying it again. And again, what the best time to close it all up and stop the oxygen flow and the fire would be to get the most yield of charcoal. But it's really cool. We still have our structure, so we'll probably just pull out some of the dead sticks and then rebuild up a stick thing. We still have all the clay, and we'll reshape the walls and start burning some more.
Make sure you stay tuned. We're gonna bring you a whole new series featuring cabin life, lake life, and we're gonna be overlanding and exploring the back roads of our own backyard here in beautiful Ontario, Canada.
Stay tuned.
And in the meantime, we'll see you down the road.